Okay, so today we're going to talk about expanding our groundwork exercises, both how our groundwork exercises advance, and then also we're going to talk a little bit about how those exercises apply to riding, and then we're also going to get in the saddle and ride a little bit. Okay, so I'm here with Diana, and I'm going to just make sure she's a new horse. I'm going to make sure she's okay with approach or retreat with my stick and string. I'm going to make sure that I can get it over. That's a perfect example right there of why you want to throw your stick over and push through. Throw your stick over your horse and push through. Okay, because we don't want our stick and string slapping our horse and spooking him. We want to give our horse a hug with our stick and string, okay, while making them confident. Switch sides, make sure she's okay on the right side. Okay, good. And we're going to do a little bit in front, and you can go all around your horse with this technique. Okay, you can walk all over your horse and see if they react. Okay, ideally we want them to stand still. Okay, if they try to wander off, just lift your lead rope up, slow your rhythm down. Okay, and you can quit when they stop or when they breathe out, lick their lips. Okay, and show signs of relaxation. Okay, I'm going to do that again. Make sure she doesn't think that that means move, because I don't want her thinking that this means move your body parts. Again, my energy's down. Okay, so my energy being down means I don't want you to go anywhere. When my energy comes up, that's a signal that I'm going to ask her to do something, just like when I'm in the saddle. Okay, good. All right, so the same things that we've done with all of our other horses, we're just going to run her quickly through these exercises. Energy up. I'm just going to ask her to yield the hind quarter. Okay, now if you watch, this horse is moving more off of body language. Okay, I don't need my stick as much for this horse. I'm communicating to her like another horse would communicate to the herd. Okay, off of body language. My stick is only there if she doesn't move. Okay, energy up. I stack my spine. I focus on her hip. Okay, and ask that hip to move. Then I relax. I bring my energy back down. I'll show you again. Energy up, stack my spine, look at her hip. Okay, then as soon as she moves, I'll come back down. And I can do, if I want her to take more than one step, I'll just activate my energy and ask that hip to move a little bit more. Okay, always, once they've done what we've asked, rest, relax. You can rub them, let them know that they've done a good job. Okay, I'll come over here to the left side, make sure the left side works. Energy up, focus right on her hip. I put my belly button, the energy right toward her hip. Okay, energy up. Good. Now watch this. I should still be able to relax, come right over to my horse and rub on her. Okay? See how she's not moving anymore because my energy's down. All right? Because it's communication. All right? I should be able to energy up, move my horse's hind quarter, then relax, walk right up to her, and she doesn't move. Okay? So we're advancing the communication to our horses and our body language. All right. Now I'm going to see if my forehand can move. Energy up. Rhythm in my chest. Good. One step and stop. And I relax my body. Try it again. Energy up. Rhythm from my chest. Good. One step and stop first. Once she gets good, I'll be able to do more. But I want her to understand the pattern. Okay, now we have a horse that's moving off of phase one, okay, of our energy and rhythmic pressure. Okay, go to rhythm. And again, just like we explained on our other segment of the video, rhythmic pressure is when we want to yield our horses using a technique that covers space, okay, or distance and time. Okay, so I'm asking her to yield, okay, from further away. Okay, and as she gets good, I'm going to get further and further away from her to yield her. Okay, and see how good we can get this. If I don't have to stand right next to her and yield. Okay, one day I'll be standing all the way on the other side of an arena and see if we can yield her front and her hind quarter, okay, and do maneuvers from increasing distance. All right, now I'm going to see if she can yield that right side. So I'll walk up and pet her. If she's thinking about moving, okay, I'll just relax in my body, see if I can pet her and say, no, you don't need to move. My energy's down. You don't need to move, okay? And just reassure her of my neutral energy. Again, when my energy is down, I'm in neutral, okay? Just like neutral in your car. When you're in neutral, it means don't go anywhere. You haven't activated or brought your car into gear. When I stack my spine, that's like first gear, okay? Get ready to move. As soon as I release the clutch, you better be ready to move in the direction of my focus, okay? Now watch this horse. She's taken one step and stopping without moving forward. That's a proper forehand yield, okay? She was doing the same with the hind quarter, okay? We're going to need that. Again, the reason why this is so important is we want our horse to learn, one, isolations of body parts, isolating the front from the back, okay? Two, we want them to understand that pressure does not mean go forward, okay? Some pressure means forward, but when I'm using rhythmic pressure on a body part, I don't want her to assume that that means walk as well. I want to be able to isolate the body parts so that when I ask for more speed, she can still do the isolation with the gait that I've asked, but not add any more speed to it, okay? So it's really important on the ground that we get these horses to understand isolations without moving forward. Isolations of body parts. And we start with the shoulders, nose, neck, okay? So right in here, that's our first isolation, okay? And then we also have the hind quarters, okay? So the rear of the horse and the hind legs. Eventually we'll get to the rib cage, okay? And we'll start combining maneuvers for that a little bit later, and that's important as well. Okay, so now after I've gotten my rhythmic pressure done, I'm going to come over here to her left side. I'm just going to see steady pressure if I can ask her shoulder to yield. Okay, again, I'm making a C with my hand, and I'm just going to touch the tip of her hair and see if she can take one step at phase one. Okay, there's 4 phases: hair, skin, muscle, bone. We want her to be as light as possible. We want her to yield off of phase one. Okay, so I'm going to ask her with phase one first. Okay, she takes one step and stops. Good. I'll rub her. Okay. Now I'll ask her again, just behind the shoulder, for her to yield her shoulder to the right. Okay, I'm pressing on her left side, and again, like we discussed in the other segments, if I touch the tip of my eyelashes with the tip of my finger, that's how light I want my horses to be eventually. So I have to offer that lightness in my hand first. We'll try our hind quarter next, okay? I've got my lead rope here over my arm so I can just support her if I need to. I'm just going to put my hand on her last rib of her rib cage and see if she can take one step. Again, I'll wait about 3 seconds between each phase at first, so she has time to think about what I'm asking. Okay, I'm not just going to start increasing pressure. Okay, I'll ask her again. Hair, good. And now if you find your horse is walking away too much, just rub them. Just rub them. If you find that they're walking away from you, okay, before you can even ask them to do anything, just rub them and just let them relax. Okay, then when you feel that they've relaxed, their muscles aren't tense and they're not walking away, you can ask them to yield their hind quarter. Okay, and when this gets really good, guys, I want to try to see if I can do it with one finger. Just one finger, the tip of her hair. That's how light it can be. All right, how we can communicate to our horses with just one finger. But at first, you're going to use your 4 fingers and your thumb and ask them to yield their shoulder. Okay, we're going to do that right now. Hair, good, and rub. Okay, they get a little bit moving around too much or a little bit worried, just rub them. Just let them know, hey, it's okay, I'm just asking you to move. It's okay. You can breathe in and breathe out. Ask, release. The release is important, okay? Pressure motivates. but release teaches. So every time that I release pressure to my horse, I'm letting her know that she did the right thing, okay? And I'm also supporting her thinking, okay? I want my horses to think through everything that I do. I don't want my horses to rush, okay? There. Okay, now she's moved off of that pressure about 4 or 5 times with air pressure. So I'm just going to rub her and I'm going to go to the hind quarter now, okay? So again, I'm going to rub her down her flank, down her hind quarter, let her know it's okay, you don't need to run away from this. Okay, we don't want our horses just randomly moving away from pressure. We want our horses to find a place to stop. When we relax, we want them to relax, okay? Then when I offer pressure on her hind quarter, that's when I want her to respond, okay? I don't want her responding just to anything, like me walking up to her. Again, steady pressure on her rib cage, okay? Just where that last rib meets her hind quarter almost. Good. Okay, as she gets better, we'll shorten that distance up between the shoulder and the hip. We'll get shorter and shorter and shorter. But right now we're exaggerating a teach. We're going to refine as we go along when she gets really good at this. Okay, so now I've got my hind quarter and forehand yields with rhythmic pressure and steady pressure at phase 1. That's our goal. Okay, now we can move on and look at a circle. All right, before we teach anything new, I'm just going to reinforce the circle. So again, we want our horses backed up outside our personal space. So I'm going to use my finger, then my wrist, then my elbow if she's not responding, back to my finger, so I encourage lightness. Wrist, if she did, back to my finger, see if she can make it. Good, then I'll relax. Okay. Now I'm going to send her to my left, okay? Got my stick in my right hand, just relaxed. Okay, again, I'm not lifting my stick until that I see that she hasn't responded to my body language or my lead line. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is stack my spine, bring my energy up, open up my hips, and I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the of walk. Okay, if she doesn't go, I'm going to point in the direction that I want her to go. I'm going to lift my stick, start to swing it toward her shoulder, then touch her. If she still hasn't gone, I'm going to do it again. Energy up. Point, lead, lift, touch her. Then allow. Now look, I'm not chasing her with the stick. I'm just allowing her to do a circle. Okay, I'm going to step my hind foot, my left foot behind my right foot, and allow her to do a circle out of walk. And I've got a rhythm, a walk rhythm in my body. Okay? And as we go along, if we want her to bend more on the circle, I can actually ask her hind quarter to yield a little bit more with rhythm and have her do a smaller circle. There. Okay? Okay, if I want her to stop, I'll breathe out, bring my energy down, see if she stops. If she doesn't, I'll just lift my lead rope up until she disengages or stops. Then relax. Okay? Now, I also want her to face me. So I'm going to look at her hind quarter and see if I can drive that hind quarter a little bit until her nose, her neck, her spine, all the way down to her rump is in alignment with my belly button. Okay, so she finds the center of the circle, relief and rest at the center of the circle. Okay, we'll do that one more time so you guys can see it. All right, energy up. Open up my left hip. I've got a walk energy in my body. All right, she understands that by me walking in my body that I want her to walk in her body. Again, I'm stepping my left leg behind my right. So I'm encouraging her to do a circle. Good. Okay. Then I'll bring my energy down. I can breathe out. Okay. See if she stops. If she didn't, I'd lift the lead rope up and then relax. Okay. Again, I'm teaching her what I want to do under the saddle. Okay. When my energy's down, that means stop. When my energy comes up and I'm walking or trotting or cantering in my body, I want her to do the same gait in hers. Okay. This is really good for young horses because if they've never ridden before if they've never been under saddle, they now have a foundation that is sequential and they already understand from the ground to the saddle. If you don't do this, then it's all foreign to them in the saddle. All right, we get up in there and we try to get them to go, and they don't even have a reference for how our communication works. So this is a more specific, more sequential communication that young horses really understand. And it also applies to our older horses getting more advanced in their maneuvers, in their specialization, and in their sports, whether that be dressage, jumping, reining, cutting, cow horse. Okay, they can do it no matter what your discipline. Even recreational, even trail riding. This is great for trail horses. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to ask her now to do a little bit of transitions. We're going to see how the transitions go before we switch directions. Okay, so I'm going to ask her to back up just a little bit more outside my personal space. So finger, wrist, elbow. Okay, if she doesn't back up off of elbow, then I'll do my whole arm. There we go. Now she's backing up with just my finger. Good. Good. Okay, energy up. I'll ask her to walk first. Okay, now if I want her to trot, I'll trot in my body. So energy up, I'll trot in my body. If she doesn't go, I'll lift my stick behind me and then come all the way to her rump and ask her to trot. Good. See if she can trot for a circle, then I'll bring my energy down to a walk. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, see if she can walk. Okay, bring my energy up, ask her to trot. Now energy down, ask her to walk. Okay, energy up, ask her to trot. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Energy down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Energy up, ask her to trot. Good. Now we'll see if she can canter. Energy up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do the canter in my body. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now we're going to do a downward transition. 1, 2. 1, 2. In my body. If she doesn't respond, I'll just lift my lead rope up and have her slow down. Okay. And if she didn't respond to an upward transition, I just ask with my stick, okay, and I get closer and closer to her hind quarter until she responds. It's all done in sequence and all done in phases. Okay, I want you to see a horse that's working on a little bit higher level, more of the final picture, okay, so that you can see where this is going and how it relates to the saddle. Also, I'm evaluating how well she's accepting the saddle. Is she bucking? Is she trying to run away? Is she acting fearful? Is she pulling on the lead line? In those situations, I would have an opportunity to get her more confident. And I'm always asking myself, does this look like a horse that I can ride? Does she look mentally, emotionally, physically ready for me to ride? Okay? This whole groundwork is not only communication and building a relationship with the horse, but it's also asking permission to ride. We're seeking permission from that horse to ride. So I have the best chance of staying safe and also having the best relationship in the saddle possible. Okay, so now we're going to go the other direction, and we're going to do a few more things on the ground before we mount up and start our riding exercises. Energy up. I'll open up my right hip, and I'm walking in my body. See if my horse can walk. Okay. Now I'm going to start to trot in my body. Energy up. Trotting in my body. See if she'll go. If she doesn't, lift my stick. Good. That's all I needed, was just to lift my stick and remind her, hey, we're trotting. Good. Now I'm going to relax and I'm going to walk in my body. See if she can walk in hers. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to stack my spine. Breathe in. Energy up. Trot. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Good. Keep going backwards with my foot. 1, 2. I'm keeping that gait in my body. Now I'm going to relax and I'm going to think 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just relaxing in my body, changing the tempo in my body to help her change the tempo in hers, just like I'm riding her. Okay, we're going to do that one more time. Energy up. 1, 2, 1, 2. The footfall of the trot. It's a 2-beat gait. Okay, if the trot's a 2-beat gait and I want her to trot, then I need to do a trot in my body. Okay, if the walk is a 4-beat gait and I want my horse to walk, then I need to do a walk in my body and think 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, same with the trot. Energy up. 1, 2. Okay, I'm trotting in my body. Okay, I'll support her if she gets stuck. Okay, I'll get a little bit away from those barrels so she doesn't run into the barrels. I don't need them right now. Okay, now energy down, and I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, energy up, and I'm thinking 1, 2. 1, 2. If I want to canter, I'll just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, in my hips. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Good. Okay, if I want to trot, I'll just 1, 2, 1, 2. I'll help her out. If she misses it, I'd rather her go to a walk than not respond. That's okay. Okay, now we'll ask for a canter again. Breathe in, roll my hips, and ask her to canter. Good. Now I'll just trot in my body. See, I want you guys to see that it's not about me saying 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2. Okay, I can do it silently. I can do it just with my energy and ask her to walk. Okay, I can do it with my energy and ask her to trot. Support her if she needs it. Okay, I can use my energy and ask her to canter. She's trying. She's trying to find it. Good. I didn't put pressure on her because she's trying to find the canter. I could see it. I could see herself organizing. Okay, and then I can ask her to trot. Okay, and I can ask her to walk. It's not about me saying 1, 2, 3, 4. It's about the gait, doing the gait in my body. So I wanted you guys to see, okay, that it's about my energy, changing the energy in my body, not about what I say vocally. Okay, vocal cues come later. We want them to get used to our bodies and our energy and how we communicate to them using our body language first. Okay, one, it's because it's the universal language of horses and horsemanship. It's body language. That's how horses communicate. 2, the reason why I don't go through vocal cues right away is because people tend to use too much of a vocal cue without a reinforcement if the horse doesn't understand. So they tend to click, 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 click. And the horse gets desensitized to clicking instead of sensitized. So we learned that later on, how to use vocal cues. So it's much more important to use your body language at first, okay? So your horse doesn't get confused or dull. All right, so one more thing I'm going to work on before we get into the saddle, okay, is that I'm going to ask this horse to go sideways. I'm going to ask her to go sideways on a fence, and I'm going to combine my forehand yields and my hind quarter yields and go sideways. Okay, so I'm going to go to my left, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to send my horse on a quarter of a circle, and I'm going to drive my hind quarter, then the front end. Hind quarter, front end. Hind quarter. If the hind quarter drags, I'll just catch that hind quarter up and ask her to go sideways. Okay. Now I'll relax, disengage, get that hind quarter to step underneath itself. Good. Have her turn face, and we'll go the other direction. Okay, wait for her to come to the wall and ask hind quarter, nose, hind quarter, nose. Now it's a lot easier if you have an arena that doesn't have these pipes in the middle that goes all the way up like a wall. Okay, she has to learn not to go in between these pipes eventually. So she has to learn not to go forward. Okay, but she's figuring it out by backing up. Good. And going sideways. All right. Perfect. Okay. So now that we have a little bit of sideways going, and that is great to get horses to think. Eventually, if we want to teach our horses leads and lead changes, we need our horses going sideways, and it also helps get our horses more refined in multiple disciplines, whether we're talking about dressage, cow horse, or even recreational riding. It's really good for horses to understand sideways, because one day I might need to go out a gate, okay, like the gate to our arena, all right? So I have to have my horse understand sideways to open up a gate from their back and not always have to dismount. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to explain is how to tie reins on a rope halter. There's a couple reasons why we use a rope halter. One is it's got direct line of communication to our horse from our lead line into our halter. And as you can see here, we've got what's traditionally called nerve buttons, okay? They're little knots that are tied on either side of the horse's nose. And this is a communication device that's done by signal, okay? It communicates by signal. So basically, when a horse feels a direction, okay, on the left side of her face, or it's initiated on the left side, the right knot touches her on the right side and gives pressure. This left knot opens, and by signaling with that right knot closing and the left knot open, okay, has the cue to turn left, okay? And it's the opposite going to the right, okay? If I was to lift the rein to the right, and so up and out, okay, this this left knot would come on her left side, and she'd be moving away off of pressure, okay, to the right. So that's very important, because it gives us an opportunity to teach our horses to have confidence in our communication, confidence in yielding to pressure, and we're able to communicate to the horse from the outside of its head, okay? When you use bits and bridles, that communicates from a very sensitive part in their body, which is inside their mouth. There's nothing wrong with that, and that's definitely, you can use it for higher level communication. But to start off the communication, we use a rope halter because it's easier for the horse to understand what we're asking. Also, when we're riding, a rope halter allows for the human to make more mistakes without insulting the horse, okay? If we start pulling and we're a little off balance on a bit and bridle, okay, the horse is going to get more upset because that bit is collapsing in their mouth, okay? So this is not only better for communication, but it also is pretty good for the human when the human might be making mistakes, okay? And in our program, we're going to show you how to ride a horse without micromanaging the reins, and also have an independent seat, meaning you have balance independent of the reins. You're not pulling on the reins for balance. It's very important. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to make reins out of this lead line, which is very convenient, because you can go from doing your groundwork with your horse to immediately making a set of reins, and when the horse is ready to ride and you have permission from the horse to ride, you can go ahead and make reins and work on your riding program. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to throw this lead line up and over our horse's neck. Okay, again, in our groundwork, we've already built confidence with our horse in throwing lead lines and sticks and strings over our horse's head. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to take the tail of the rope and I'm just going to make a loop. Okay, and then I'm going to put that loop through our halter. Okay, just below the halter knot, I'm going to make a loop and put that loop through the halter. I'm going to come around with the tail of my rope, make another loop, and pass it through. Okay, so now we have a set of reins, okay, and we have an ability to take the reins apart with a slip knot if we need to, but this part of the rein won't come loose. All right? And if it ever does, if an accident ever happens, we'll always have one rein. And I'll talk about that in a minute, okay? One rein stops, and using one rein are very important. Okay, so now I've got a set of reins to ride my horse in, okay? And I can communicate to my horse from the left and from the right, okay? As well as keeping a neutral rein to teach my horse that I'm not going to micromanage her while we're riding. Okay. All right, so now we're going to get ready to ride our horse. We're going to take our reins, throw it over our horse's head. Again, we've done all our groundwork, so we know that putting it over our horse's head is not going to scare them. Okay. We're doing this all in sequence. Okay, and I'm going to tie a loop. I'll show you how to do this. Okay, we've explained it once in one of our sessions, but I'm going to just show it again. Make a loop, pass it through the halter, come around, make another loop, pass it through. Now you've got a slip knot in the reins. Okay, and I can undo my reins if I want to. All right. Or I can have that right rein and it's fixed. It's not going to come loose. All right. So we're going to make sure really quick that our horse can bend laterally in preparation for a one rein stop. So I got my right hand on my rein and mane. Okay, my left hand slides down. We can trombone the rein, give a pre-signal to our horse, bring my hand to my chest. Have my horse bend. As soon as my horse bends her neck, okay, I'm going to release. And the more we do this, the more our horses get softer in the neck and the poll, okay? And what that's going to help the horse do is going to be more flexible for maneuvers, and it's going to help our horses relax. The softer their necks are, the more our horses can learn how to relax. Okay, we don't want stiff-necked horses. Okay, we want all that nice and soft. Okay, next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to show you guys this from this side. Ask my horse to do a forehand yield so that I can get in front of you. Okay, so keeping my principles, even when I'm moving, just doing simple maneuvers. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my left hand on the rein, and I'll make a loop, take the slack out of my reins. Okay, I'm going to stand at my horse's shoulder. Okay, I'm going to take my stirrup, face it to me, put my left foot in my stirrup. Okay, I'm going to keep my left hand on my horse's mane and rein, and put my right hand on the saddle. Okay, now again, you see how I hopped around to get parallel with this horse's front end, okay? The reason why I did that is to see if that horse is going to run away. That wasn't an accident. Okay, I'm going to look right over those horse's ears, and I'm going to come straight up, okay, and come down. And what I'm trying to do is see if my horse is going to move forward or not. Come straight up and down. I can use my right hand to help me. Come straight up, and I'm just going to sit, put my right hip on this saddle, okay? Then once I see that my horse isn't moving, I can bring my right leg over, put my leg in the saddle, right leg in the saddle, in my stirrups, straighten out my saddle if I need to, and then do nothing, okay? If I want to teach my horse how to stand to be mounted, the first thing I need to do when I get on my horse is not do anything at all unless they're walking away, okay? So it's teaching this horse for the next time that she gets mounted, don't assume that you're just going to walk off. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little bit of lateral flexion. So I've got my right hand in the middle of my reins, okay? Lift my reins up about to my eyebrows. I got my wrist and elbow are straight, okay? I don't have a bend. They're straight. Take my left hand, slide my left hand as far as I can down the rein. Then I bring my right hand down, push on the saddle horn, and bring my left hand to my thigh and bend my horse. The reason why I bring my right hand down and push on the saddle horn is if she were to walk forward, I'm going to put myself in the saddle so I don't lose my balance, okay? And if she was to run away, same thing. I want to push on this horn, okay? Same thing in an English saddle. I'll push on the pommel to push my butt in the saddle so I don't come out, okay? So right hand up, left hand down. Bring my left hand to my thigh, okay? Stab myself in the thigh, okay? And as soon as my horse bends her neck, release. Okay, we'll do that one more time to make sure she understands. She's already bending. Okay. All right, now we're going to switch sides. So now I got my left hand in the center of my reins in neutral. Mane on, my hands on the rein and her mane. Okay. Bring my left hand up. Okay, again, my elbow straight, my wrist is straight, about at my nose or my eyebrows. I'm taking all the slack out of that rein so I can communicate to her with. Slide my hand down and ask her to bend by bringing my hand out and around. Okay, and I'm gonna wait for her to bend. Watch this. I'm gonna come out slowly and wait for her to yield to this, okay? If your horses, whether they're young or old, have been used to a stiff neck, you need to wait until they yield. So she's just kind of not responding to the right, okay? She might be a little bit tighter to the right. So I keep pushing on my saddle, on my saddle horn, and I'll wait for her to give, okay? Never seen this take longer than 2 days. So be ready to wait. Horses are really good at outweighting predators, okay? They know, they've got a clock in their head that they say, well, if I wait about 2 minutes, my predator will give up, okay? So I'm going to be prepared to outweight the horse, okay? It's not about whether I can get this done, it's whether I can communicate to her. So that's why I'm waiting for her to make a decision. If I just yank her head around, that wasn't her choice, okay? If I wait for her to decide to bend and flex, then that's her choice and she's more likely to put more effort into it next time. Another way to say that is she's going to be lighter next time. See how fast that was? Okay, so lift my rein up, slide my hand down, wait for her to bend, release as soon as she bends toward my boot, okay? All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to see if our horse can yield their hip, okay, from steady pressure off of our leg. All right, and again, this is how you want to, even when we're on a colt for the first ride, I'm doing everything in sequence that I would do on a young horse for the first ride. Now this isn't exactly her first ride, but I'm going to show you all the steps in order to get a young horse thinking about riding, thinking about having the rider on their back, and then doing our principles in riding. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, and remember the sequence, I want to use my body first. So I'm going to use my leg to ask her hip to move. If that doesn't work, okay, I'm going to use my rein. But the first thing I need to do is focus. So I'm going to turn my head, slide my left leg back toward her hip, and if she takes a step, I'll release, okay? Now, it's also important, we need to turn our toe out so we can communicate to our horse, all right? So I'm going to ask her left hip to move to the right. This leg does nothing. This leg is relaxed. My right leg is totally relaxed. I'm going to slide my left leg back, turn my toe out, ask my horse's hip to move, okay? I'll show you on the right side so you guys can see it. Okay, turn my toe out, slide my right leg back, see if my horse can move her hip. Okay, if she didn't, then I'd slide my fingers down the rein, lift my fingers to the sky, okay, and ask that hip to move. Show you again. Turn my leg out, ask that hip okay? If she didn't move, I'd lift my rein up, slide my right hand down, fingernails to the sky till she moved her hip. Rein is always last because we want our horses moving off our leg. Only in Western horsemanship, we want to get them completely moving off our leg without our reins. Meaning that in order for us to teach this, we have to use our leg first and see if our horse can do it without the support of our reins. If our horse doesn't move off our leg, then we slide our hand down the rein. In this particular maneuver, we lift our fingernails to the sky to support our horse, then release pressure. Okay, I'll show that to you a couple more times so you get nice and clear on the hind quarter yield. Okay, and again, you see she's not moving forward, she's staying stationary, her front feet are staying stationary, and she's pivoting around her front feet with her hind quarter. Okay, I'm going to do it to the right so you guys can see it. Okay, slide my leg back, toes out, ask that hip to move one step and release. Okay, and I'm using hair first. If I need to go harder than that, I do skin, muscle, bone, then rein to support. Okay, ask her to the right one more time. Perfect. Good job. All right. So now that I know that my horse can yield her hind quarter, we're going to ask her to yield her front end. Okay. So I'm going to yield her front end. Okay. To the right, so you guys can see my left leg. So now, if I want to yield my horse's shoulder, I need to yield with the opposite leg to the direction of travel. Meaning if I want her to go to the right, I have to use my left leg. Okay? If you want a simple way to put this, if I was going to push someone, okay, if I was going to push someone's shoulders, if I push my right shoulder, I'm going to go to the left. Push my left shoulder, I'm going to go to the right. Okay? Same principle here with our horses. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look where I want to go. I want to go to my right. Okay? I'll slide my leg forward and turn my toe out and put hair pressure on my horse's shoulders. If she moves her shoulders, I'll release immediately. Okay? We'll do it again. See if she can repeat that at phase. I'll look where I want to go, strong focus, and I'll put my left leg on her shoulder and see if she can move her shoulder to the right. Okay? And now another important thing, my left leg is opening up. So my right leg is opening up so she can move her shoulder to the right. Okay? So watch. Look to the right, put my left leg on her shoulder, my right leg is open so her shoulders have a place to go. Okay? So I close the door with my left leg, open the door with my right. Okay? Now, if she's not moving her shoulders, okay, what do we do then? So, if I've put my left leg on her shoulder, opened up my right, she's still not moving, I'm going to lift my rein up, slide my right hand down, lift my rein up and to the right. Okay? Up and to the right. My knuckles are up. Okay? Our hind quarter yield, our fingernails were to the sky. Okay? But in our forehand yield, our knuckles are up and out. I'm talking to her right shoulder and asking that right shoulder to move. Okay? Then eventually she'll be able to move that shoulder without reins. Okay? Just like that. Okay. Now we're going to ask her to go to the left. Okay, same principles, just the opposite direction. I'm going to look to my left. I'm going to turn my right leg out, so turn my toe out away from my horse. And I'm going to squeeze down to my calf and see if she will move her shoulders. Okay, my left leg is open. If she doesn't, I'm going to slide my left hand down, bring my fingernails up and out until she moves her shoulders, then release. If your horse walks away, you can bend them to a stop and then start all over. Okay? So the better they get at all this, the easier it'll be in the saddle. Look left. Okay, put my right leg on her shoulder, ask her to take one step, release. Okay? If she was to walk away, lift my rein up, slide my hand down, bend my horse to the stop. Okay, this is how this horse got good. She knows the sequence so that now she can move her hips and her shoulder independently of each other. Okay, look left, slide my right leg forward, toe out, squeeze down to my calf, then my heel. Okay, if she didn't move her shoulder, pick my rein up, lift my left hand up and out until she moves just her shoulder. Okay, do that one more time. Back up a little bit so you can see me. Okay, look, eyes, belly button. And if you watch, okay, when I'm facing forward, my belly button is facing forward, just like her. My belly button's running down her spine, okay, her neck down through her ears. When I look to the right, my belly button moves to the right and gives her a place to go, okay? Okay, gives her the right direction to go. And if she doesn't, then I'll support with my reins, okay? But she will eventually follow where my belly button tells her, okay? When I go to the right or when I go to the left, okay, she's following where my belly button is going. So eventually, we'll be able to ride without reins. Now, again, the reason why we're working on these maneuvers, we're isolating the hips, we're isolating the hind quarter, so at a higher level, we can combine them together and isolate our horse's body parts without them thinking that our leg means forward, okay? My body language and my energy mean forward, okay? My leg means lateral, okay? When I look to my right, put my left leg on her, ask, release, ask, release. That means just move your shoulders, not go forward. All right, it's really important so that we can combine this into higher principles without adding speed unless we ask for it. All right, okay, so now we're going to start to talk about forward movement. All right, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to establish our communication of going forward. All right, so the first thing, I'm going to bring my energy up, stack my spine, I'm going to walk in my body, okay, just like I was walking across this arena. If she didn't move, if she didn't go anywhere, I would then gently squeeze with my legs. If she still didn't move forward, I'd start to tap her hind quarter gently with my hand and see if she could walk forward, okay? Again, you don't want to just kick your horse, okay, because that builds brace. It can also spook them. And what I mean by building brace is that at a higher level, we want our horses, even now, to be very relaxed. If we start kicking them, okay, you can do this to yourself. You're going to start bracing your muscles, anticipating that kick, okay? We want our horses to start to learn how our body communicates, all right? So they say nice and relaxed, supple, and always listening to our communication. So I'm going to stack my spine, bring my energy up, put a walk in my body, see if my horse can walk with me, okay? And I might just take a few steps and see if I can bring my energy down, stop walking, relax, see if she can stop. If she didn't, I'd slide my hand down, bend her to a stop, okay? We'll try that again. So I'm going to bring my energy up, walk in my body. I've got my focus is high, okay? I'm not staring at my horse, I'm not looking down, I'm not slumped over, okay? I've got my shoulders in alignment with my hips and as much as I can with my ankles, and I'm looking and focusing across the arena. If I want to do a circle around these barrels, okay, I would look through the turn and use my right leg and my focus to help my horse know where I'm looking, okay? And if I wanted to stop my horse, okay, the first thing I do is I bring my energy down and I stop riding, okay? If she still didn't stop, I'd lift my reins up, slide my hand down, bend my horse to a stop. So she learns that when I stop riding, so should she. She should follow my energy. So we have a more advanced way of communicating to our horse using body language and energy, okay? And this is kind of the secret of Western riding, is to be able to teach our horses to ride on a loose rein. Eventually we'll teach them how to ride on a collected rein too. But the first thing we want to do is teach our horses, okay, that we don't need to micromanage the reins eventually. Say, now my horse is thinking about a circle. She's thinking about where I'm going versus me telling her constantly, turn left, turn left, turn left. I'll only correct her if she needs it. But if she doesn't, I'll leave her alone, okay? And I'll allow her to do her job of doing a left circle. In this particular case, we're doing a left circle, okay? And if she needed support, I could give it to her. But the important thing is that we start to teach our horses how to ride without reins. So they're communicating through our body, they're thinking for themselves, they're not always thinking about us micromanaging the reins. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start to play around with some change of direction. Okay, so I'm going to ride through these barrels, ask using eyes, belly button, leg, rein to the left. I'll look straight, let her get straight for a minute, then I'll look to the right and use my left leg and ask her to turn. Again, if I needed support, I'd lift my right rein until she turned. Okay? And I'm going to use my focus, okay? And my focus is going to help this horse know where I want to go. Riding to the right, okay? And I'm walking in my body. I've got rhythm in my body, asking her to maintain gait, maintain direction, look where she's going, okay? And act like a partner. Okay? I'll just bring my energy down. If she didn't stop, I would pick my rein up, slide my hand down, bend her to a stop. Okay? So this is where all this is starting to go, is I want my horse to start to understand where my focus is going. Eyes, belly button, leg. Eyes, belly button, leg. Okay? Then I can teach her how to do a figure eight. Eyes, belly button, leg. Turn to the right. Okay? I'll only support with the reins if I need to. Eyes, belly button, leg. Okay. Once we have our horses doing this at a walk, we can go up to higher speeds. Okay? We can teach this at a trot. We can teach this at a canter. Okay? We can teach a lot more patterns. But we have to get our horses starting to think about riding on a loose rein, changing directions. Again, this is a higher level of communication. If I need to support her, I'll use my right leg, left rein if I'm going to the left. If she needs support, okay? Eyes, belly button, leg, rein if I need it. Eyes, belly button, leg, rein if I need it, okay? Now I'll let her continue around this left barrel, then I'm going to come around the center, okay, and we'll change direction. Go to my right. If she didn't turn right, eyes, belly button, leg, rein if I need it. Eyes, belly button, leg, rein if I need it. Okay? Now, if she gets too close to the barrel, I can just use a little bit of my right leg near her shoulder and ask her to step further away. Okay? All right. So, that's a little bit about teaching our horses how to turn. Okay? Now, we can add this, we can start to get them to think about this at a higher speed. Okay? Now, when I ask my horses to go faster, I'm going to do the gait in my body first. Okay? So if I want to trot my horse, the thing I need to do is I need to think about maintaining balance and do the gait in my body. So if I want to trot, I'm going to think 1, 2, 1, 2, and just come out of my saddle and back down. She stops, I'll just ask her to go again. Okay, eyes, belly button, leg. Eyes, belly button, leg. If she goes too fast, I'll comb the rein down and ask her to slow down to a trot. There we go. Eyes, belly button, leg, rein if I need it. Okay? If I want to walk If I want to walk, I can walk in my body and bring her back down to a walk, okay? If she didn't walk, I'll bend her down to the gait that I want, okay? Now we'll go to the right. Eyes, belly button, leg, ask her to go to the right. Now I'll bring my energy up, and I'll look where I want to go. Ask that horse. See, I had to use my reins because she wasn't listening, going to the right. So I got my reins in my left hand, put my left leg on her, and if she doesn't go, I'll lift my right rein and say, hey, Miss Diana, move your shoulder to the right. Good. So even this horse, I had to support her. Okay, if she doesn't keep going forward, I'm gonna encourage her with my hand, okay, and have her do a couple circles on a loose rein to the right. Okay. Now what we're gonna do a couple circles, see if we can do a figure 8. All right, and then we'll move on to some other patterns and show you guys some other things to work on and where this can go with Western riding. So I'm going to trot first, going to the left, get her going, eyes, belly button, rein, okay, eyes, belly button, leg, rein, if I need it, okay. Now I'll switch directions, see if she can keep trotting, good, okay, look to my right, see if she can switch directions, okay, come straight, change my post, change my leg, just keep encouraging her to keep going, good, change my post, change my leg, rein if I need it, okay, then we'll come down to a walk, good. All right, another simple exercise that we can put up is a serpentine. Okay, we've got a serpentine right here. You can make this a little bit longer if you want, especially for young horses. They need a little bit more distance. I'm going to see if she can make it through this pattern right here. So I'm going to ride on down to the other end so you can see me from the front. Just going to follow this rail on down, then we'll walk, see if she can walk in her body. Again, if she doesn't, I'll slide my hand down and ask her to walk. Okay, now we're going to do eyes, belly button, use my right leg and ask her to go to the left. Eyes, belly button, use my left leg, ask her to go to the right. Eyes, belly button, right leg, ask her to turn left. Focus, eyes, belly button, okay, left leg, ask her to go to the right. Eyes, belly button, right leg, ask her to turn left. Use my reins if she needs it, okay? If she needed help, I just pick my rein up and ask her to turn, okay? Doing the same thing, this direction. Eyes, belly button, leg. Eyes, belly button, leg. Okay, getting this horse to turn, okay, just by using my focus, okay, and my leg. Okay, stop in the middle. Okay, so if she gets good at that, now I can think about increasing speed, remembering that I can't increase speed until they get good at these exercises at a walk, okay? So she might be great at this at a trot, she may not, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is ask her for a trot, see if we can trot on a loose rein, eyes, belly button, leg, to the left. Okay, I'll look to my right, eyes, belly button, leg, go to the right. Eyes, belly button, leg, ask her to go to the left. If she has trouble, I'll just use my reins as I need to and help her out. Eyes, belly button, leg. Eyes, belly button, leg. Ask her to turn. Eyes, belly button, leg. Eyes, belly button, leg, good. Eyes, belly button, leg, okay. And eventually, she'll be able to do this without me having to use the reins. There, that's pretty good. There we go. Now, as soon as she does a good set, okay, I'll stop, turn, face, have her look at the pattern, okay, and just relax, okay. And eventually, we will work on cantering. All right, so I'm going to really quickly cover cantering. The most important thing is actually walking and trotting. If you can get the walk and trot really good, you can eventually get the canter very good, okay? So I'm going to do a circle around these barrels, okay? The first thing I want to do is make sure I'm on a circle at a walk. Eyes, belly button, leg, rein, okay? Then I'll pick up a trot. Good. Make sure that she can trot this, and I'll sit back, roll my hips, and ask her to canter this. If she fades to the right, just ask with my rein and leg. Help her out. Okay. If I want to slow down, I'll just start trotting in my body, and if she can't trot, okay, slow down a little bit too much. Okay, I'll lift my rein up and bend her till she trots. Okay, try that again. Canter in my body. Eyes, belly button, leg, rein to help her stay on the circle. Okay, when your horse gets good at this, when you ask him to stop, you should be able to stop him just by stopping riding. Okay, so I just quit riding and she stopped. And that's how our horses should be able to respond when they get good, is we should be able to stop them without reins. Okay, if we want to train into multiple disciplines, whether that be dressage, jumping, or reining and cow horse, our horses need to respond to our bodies. Okay, reins eventually just come for shaping, bending, and support. They're not really there for control. Okay, most people use reins. They either balance on them because their balance is not good, okay, or they only use them to turn, okay. If our horses only turn off the reins, they'll really never understand true collection. So this benefits all discipline of horses, not just Western horses, but English horses too, to learn this as cross training. Okay, then you can start to teach a horse how to collect using the reins or shape and bend using the reins, because your body is telling the horse direction and speed. Okay, then your reins will talk about shaping and bending the position of their body. Okay, that's why it's so important to eventually be able to control your horse with your energy. Okay, if I want to, I can sit the trot, I could walk in my body first. Good. Okay, trot in my body. Good. Okay, canter in my body. Good. Stop in my body. Have her stop too. Okay, so how good can we get this with body language? Not just with spurs and whips, okay, and big bits. As you can see, I'm just riding in a rope halter. Just riding in a nice light rope halter, communicating to these horses off of my focus, my body language, and my halter, okay, or rope hackmore is here for support, okay. When we ride in a rope halter, it actually becomes a rope hackmore, okay. All right, we're going to talk about one more thing really quick, and then we'll be finished with our advanced riding section. So, the other thing that we want our horses to get good at And there's lots more exercises to work on, but as we advance, okay, we want to make sure our horses can get good at things like sideways. So asking our horses to yield to the side using our body, okay, our focus, and our leg. Okay. And we're going to cover that in future videos, is how to get our horses good at advancing maneuvers with our eyes, belly button, leg, and how that leads to more complex riding principles. Okay, I'm going forward in my body, okay, supporting with my reins if necessary, asking her to yield sideways with my hips, okay, my focus, rein if necessary. Okay, and what that will do is that will eventually help her in cantering. It's going to help her in side passing and sideways in general, and it's going to also teach her how to continue to ride without me continually having to rely on the reins. Eventually we'll be able to ride these horses bridleless, okay, without a bridle, as a test of the truth, how good our riding really is. Okay, but as we move along, I want you guys to remember that the first thing that we need to do is establish a communication and confidence. We have our one rein stop or lateral flexion. Okay, same thing. Teach our horses to bend. Then, using steady pressure, ask our horses to be able to yield the hind quarter. Okay, 360 degrees to the right and to the left without moving forward. Okay. Then we can ask our horses to yield the forehand without moving forward, asking and releasing. I'm asking and releasing with each step. Ask, release, change focus, change direction, asking, releasing, yielding the forehand. Okay, now she's isolating body parts. Good, okay. We start to apply that in all things that we do, even the backup. I can back up in my body. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Support with the reins if I need to, but my body asks this horse to back up, okay? So think of it this way. When I'm going forward, I put a forward motion in my body. When I stop the movement. When I back up, I put a backward motion in my hips and ask that horse to back up, okay? Eventually these horses will be able to do that without reins. So once we have those basic skills, we have our foundation level of training, or the beginning of our foundation level of training. We move on to more advanced exercises, and through those advanced exercises, we start to prepare for everything from recreational riding, trail riding, riding around the arena, riding for pleasure. Also, that leads to competition, whether you want to do competition at the local and regional level, or you want to do competition at the national and international level. This is your base foundation that leads to exercises that can accomplish those goals. So I wish you all the best, creating a relationship with your horse, and we'll see you at a course very soon. So I'd encourage all of you to take your time in this process. If you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me, Chris Cook, at WHC. We'll be leaving a link in the description of all this information. I'm here to help anyone and support anyone through their process and their journey of young horse development. Again, I'd like to thank KNU and the entire research team that have put on this wonderful project, as well as the KRA and the U.S. Embassy. Thank you very much.